I've been thinking a lot about what is the most deterministic factor that determines success. Is it access to opportunity? Is it intellect? And oftentimes when I have these questions, I look back to ancient civilizations to see if they knew the answer. And what I found was what made these great civilizations of the past so enduring. Was it their architecture? Was it their military? Was it their gods? No, it was not. It was something far more quieter, yet far more powerful. It's discipline. From the regimented soldiers of Sparta to the philosopher kings of China and Rome to the time obsessed builders of Egypt, discipline was an invisible force that built the world's greatest empires. Today, we'll uncover how ancient civilization didn't just value discipline, they lived and breathed it. In ancient Egypt, discipline wasn't just a social rule, it was a cosmic. The Egyptians believed the universe itself ran on a principle called Ma'at, the balance between order and chaos. Farmers followed the flood cycles of the Nile with clockwork precisions. Workers toiled, sometimes willingly, many times unwillingly, for decades on pyramids with almost mathematical coordination. Even pharaohs were judged by how well they maintained Ma'at. In Egypt, discipline wasn't punishment, it was harmony with the universe. Then came Sparta, perhaps the purest embodiment of discipline as identity. From the age of 7, Spartan boys entered the Agon, a brutal system that taught them endurance, loyalty, and self control. Pain wasn't something to avoid, it was something to master. Every meal, every march, every silence in formation reinforced one truth: freedom is earned through discipline. Sparta wasn't built by passion, it was built by practice day after day until excellence became instinct. This Spartans were disciplined. That's how they stood the test against the battle of the Good. Now let's go east from Sparta. Discipline took on a more introspective form. For Confucius, he taught that true order in the world begins with order in the self. The ideal man, the Yunzi, was guided by ritual, respect, and restraint. Discipline wasn't about punishment, it was about mastering one's desires. Even emperors were expected to follow ritual conduct, proof that no one, not even the ruler, was above the discipline of virtue. Now let's head back west to perhaps the greatest civilization of the ancient world, the ancient Romans. The Romans turned discipline into a science. Their legions were unstoppable, not because they were the strongest, but because they were the most disciplined. The Latin word disciplina meant training, instruction, and learning, not blind obedience. Every soldier knew his duty, every citizen his place. Even Rome's roads, laws, and governance reflected this ethos of structure and control. When Rome lost its discipline was when luxury replaced labor. Its empire began to crumble. What you can take away from this, and what I've taken away from studying the ancients, is that the will to build an empire, whether that be an empire of business, to succeed in your hobbies, to succeed in anything in life, is discipline. I've worked every single weekend for the last 5 years building my company. It started from nothing. Today, it's raised over $18 million dollars in capital from some of the best venture funds in the world. I was able to get here through one practice of that was discipline. To work hard, not when I wanted to, but actually when I didn't want to. I think the same thing applies for any other practice in life. I hope to one day be a good family man, to be a father, to be a good husband. And I looked at the good father figures and good father role models in my life. They're all disciplined. I've looked at the great athletes, the great hobbyists, the great artists. They were all disciplined. Disciplined is the single most important thing that you can control that will determine whether or not you are successful and how you describe success.